Hi, everybody. There we go. Rachelle Jones. Lunch and Live at 11:45, Friday, 27 September 2019. Here we are with Friday Lunch and Live. Hi, Cheryl. Thanks for joining. Send the word out, by the way. If you have people who you think could benefit from these live videos, they're live here every Friday, 11:45 Pacific Standard Time, or I post them to YouTube too. So share that with your friends if you think there could be something valuable for them in these messages. The lives are really cool because I want you to interact. I want you to send your thoughts or questions or concerns or your feedback or whatever in the moment, what's hitting you, which is really cool because I get to talk with more of you at one time than just one at a time in my office, right? So hi, thanks for joining. So today I was thinking about a couple of things. First of all, the ginormous effects of unresolved grief. We call it stress in today's world, right? In today's world, it's common to hear stress has huge effects on our health and on our body. In my world, I use the word unresolved grief. Grief means the feelings inside of your body anytime you experience loss or change. And then they just pile up until what? We have some kind of explosion of some sort. But every few years, every 10, 20 years, we rename grief. And so it went from grief to burnout to stress to anxiety. These are just terms that really mean grief, unresolved grief. So I was with someone, I don't know, some number of weeks ago, and they're sharing with me a situation when I say, how are you? How have you been, outside of the office, outside of work? And they say, well, I just had a horrible weekend, I was barking at everyone and just whatever. And I was like, oh gosh, what's happening? And so, hey, Jones. So they're telling me about their story of this happens to all of us, doesn't it? We have those moments where we're exploding at like a level 14 and really we need a level 1.7. So barking at everyone on the weekend. I said, well, what happened? I don't know, this person is on their phone, blah, 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 the whole time. And I'm just so annoyed by that. And then this person is just over here and doing whatever they're doing. And I'm so annoyed by that. And then they've got all the reasons. Well, in talking, I learned that, a few days before all of this barking started happening, this leak started happening onto everyone else, they had an accident, a fall, and there were many people around, people who knew this person, and nobody helped them up. So this person falls in front of many people and nobody helps them up. And I'm like, oh man, and they're all hurt, and I'm asking them, because they're physically hurt. And I'm asking them, oh my gosh, well, that must have been terrible and whatever. And we were able to pick out a few things. And then we go on with talking, but this story came up like 4 times. And finally, by the 4th time, so here's the thing, our heart repeats, it sends out the message again, repeats what's unfinished, what's unresolved. So if you find that a story pops up through your lips or pops up in your head or pops up in your mind again and again, it's because it's unresolved. Your heart is trying to get your attention. I need help. This one's not healed. So it just keeps talking in different ways. So if you think of something and there's still happening inside of you, just because it's not resolved. If it were resolved, you would be able to maybe remember it, but there wouldn't be the that goes along with it, okay? So in this interaction, the story repeats on its 4th cycle. And I said, okay, so in that moment when you fell, and nobody helped you up, what is the message that you heard in that? Did you feel like nobody loved you? What was your mind saying in that moment? That I'm not important, that I'm not no good. Oh, okay. And so then some days later, when one of the children is on the phone the whole time, is that a new behavior? Have you ever seen that from them before? Oh yeah, that's what they do all the time. But do you see what I'm saying? The person is barking a few days later for an activity that's regular. So I said, okay, now in that moment, when you see the kid on the phone, what are you feeling in that moment? Like I'm not important. Ah, okay. And so when you're talking to partner and partner is not really hearing your feelings and what's going on inside of you, what's that feel like? Well, I'm not important. I'm not valuable. Okay. So I want you to think back as far as you can. When's the first time you remember feeling not important or not valuable? Oh, with my parents when I was a kid. Quick. Here's the thing. Back at childhood, this person experienced a loss of love, safety, acceptance with people around. And that nerve stayed nice and hot and alive throughout life. So anytime, it gets inflamed at different times, right? The nerve's always hot, but it gets extra inflamed when a new situation hits it. And then we send that message off of, see, you're not important. Nobody helped you. See, you're not important. They're not paying attention to you. See, you're not important. But it's really stemming from something way back here. And so that's how grief works. It's unresolved. And so now going forward, years later, you're still going to get the same message or the same style of pain because it's a lifetime of hitting that same nerve with all the different types of circumstances or situations. So that's the benefit of going back, using the tools and actions in one of my classes or any other specialist classes, is to go back and heal where that nerve was originally injured. I was going to say damaged. That's not true. But injured, okay? Where the original trauma is, people like to say trauma. I'm going to say where the original grief experience happened, right there. That's where we're going to go heal, plus all the ones that have tapped it and bumped it along the line. And so that's the value of these classes, these tools, these actions, is situations years later are getting a huge response and reaction, overreaction on our part. And it's really because of stuff years before or weeks before or months before. Does that make sense? So if you're having a huge explosive reaction today, I'm going to ask you to pause and think, okay, what is this situation telling me? That I'm no good, that I'm unloved, that I'm not important, that I'm invisible, that I'm not valuable or valued. Okay, and then if you can, start tracing it back. When have you felt that before? When have you felt that before? It's hard to do by itself, honestly, by yourself. That's what we would teach you in a class, is how to do it. It's a systematic, streamlined way. It's pretty easy in method, but challenging in our heart, right? We're sitting with some hard moments, and that's why we do it together too, so you don't have to do it alone. But if you're responding a certain way today, you have a certain behavior or response or reaction or attitude or belief today, I'm going to show you how to find where it came from. Because it's not from today. It's not. It's from something else. So here's the deal. We've got these hot nerves, inflamed, getting pinged all the time. We're talking emotions, though. Hi there, thanks for joining. So you've got these hot nerves, they're inflamed, they're getting pinged all the time and getting inflamed and then settled and inflamed and settled, but it's still there. The injury, the wound is still there. And then what do? Well, we don't want to sit at a high vibrancy or high vibration level of like all the time. We don't want it to be inflamed and causing us issues all the time. So we overcompensate. We get really busy. We focus on work. We focus on, we've got to have perfect nutrition or perfect exercise or perfect bodies or perfect looks or perfect attendance or perfect scores or perfect work reviews or perfect families or perfect kids or perfect sports. You see what I'm saying here? We start to let other things be used to manage our injured emotional nerves from way back. And it's messy and it gets all tied in and all jumbled up together, and we just believe, well, I've just got this. This is a disease. This is a condition. I have anxiety. I'm going to have this for life. You are going to have it for life until you start doing some healing. Your healing's not going to come from a pill. It's just going to keep all the energy low, but keep the swelling down, right? But the injury's still there. That's the benefit of going back. And then maybe you don't even need pills anymore. Maybe you don't even need medication anymore. If it's something you have to return to again and again and again, Well, that's because it's a short-term fix. It's not the correct fix. It'll give you a little bit of something, but it's not the correct fix. It's short-term. You've got to return to it. Food, exercise, sex, porn, TV, movies, reading, writing, journaling, yes, medications. Some medications are necessary. I completely get that. But I'm asking you to reconsider or look at the ones you're taking for depression and anxiety or hyper attention deficit disorder, all these different things, because a lot of times it's really just because you've got all these hot spots from way back that haven't been healed properly, because your mind will not keep bringing it up. Your heart will not keep spinning if it's been healed. So we don't want to, have all that loud energy noise inside of us. And that's why we do the exercise and we do all the things, the meditation, the yoga, the Reiki, the acupuncture, all of these things, massage, those are really helpful, but they're short term. You're going to have to go back to them. You're going to have to go back to them for management of a condition, or not necessarily a condition, an emotional condition that really needs a specific type of healing. If you want to get massages, go get massages. That's great. If you want to, exercise, that's great. But do it because you just want to, for your wellness, for your fitness, not because you're trying to manage your energy. And if I don't get it done, then, everything's going to spiral out of control and I'm going to find myself really low and emotional again, or really spun up, or really whatever. That's because we're not using the right tool or the right healing for this emotional energy. Does that make sense? And then, because we're not using the right tool for that emotional energy, our body starts to take a hit. It keeps trying to remind you, I still have an injury here. And you're like, no, I know. I'm going to go exercise. It'll be fine. And so the injury keeps popping up. So then you got to exercise again. And you know what's happening? Keeping your cortisol levels high, isn't it? And we all know high cortisol levels is like rust in our body. It's eating up every system that blood touches, because cortisol is floating around in your blood, and we don't want to live with high cortisol levels. That messes up everything. Our pH, our systems, everything. It starts, breaking down our heart, our lungs, our kidneys, our eyes, our skin, our joints. Oh, everything gets angry when cortisol levels stay high. And cortisol levels are going to stay high until you heal those emotional wounds back at the source. So none of this short term, I'll just manage it right now, and I got to do it every day. And if I don't do it every day, if I skip a day, oh my gosh, everything spirals out of control. That's not real healing. That's not real wellness. That is short term in nature. So, I guess that's the benefit of a class, is let's go back and heal those wounds for real, those emotional wounds. They're invisible, so they're tricky. You shouldn't have to go do all of these other things to heal your heart. If it keeps popping up with ow, ooh, ah, oh, I can't trust them. Oh, I can't be around that. Oh, I can't go over there. Oh, I can't be in that type of situation. That's because your heart is hurting and you need specific action to heal those wounds. So, find any specialist, griefrecoverymethod.com. You can find me, go to my website here, or I have a 2-day class, or a lot of 2-day classes popping up. There are about 10 of us in the world who teach these 2-day methods, which are amazing. They're like magic. There are about 10 in the world out of, I don't know, what are we, about 5,500 or 6,000 specialists in the world. Only 10 teach these 2-day methods, and they're pretty spectacular. And it's an easy weekend to fly in, take the class, and fly out, isn't it? It's pretty helpful. So I've got one coming up, I think 19 and 20 October is the next one. If you are tired of spinning your wheels and trying to stay ahead of all that busy, noisy energy inside of you, let's get it done for real. Let's be done with it. Let's really change the quality of your life and keep you from acting out at, a level 14 when really it didn't even need a reaction, or it needed a really small one, but you're overreacting because your energy's too noisy. Let's go heal all those inflamed emotional nerves from way back so we can be done with it. Food for thought. Save your money on all these things, these external things you do to try to settle your energy, and let's really heal. Food for thought. I love you guys. Happy Friday. Lunch and Live 11:45 with Rachelle Jones. I look forward to seeing you. Actually, I'm not going to be here next week. What is that? Like maybe the 4th? Friday the 4th of October? I will not be here next week. Yeah. So I'll see you in 2 weeks, which is the 11th of October. I'll see you on the 11th. Thanks for joining, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.